Picture this. It's the 1940s. The sun is setting over a big city. Maybe it's New York, maybe Philly. You hear a sound. It's not a car horn, not a siren, it's voices. A group of young cats standing on a street corner. They ain't got no instruments, no drums, no guitars, no shiny horns, just their voices. One guy sings a low bass line, a deep dom-dom-doo-dom, another hits a high, sweet falsetto. They're building a song from scratch, right there on the concrete. This was the beginning of something special. This was the birth of doo-wop, a sound born from nothing but soul and the need to make music together. This music came straight from the heart of African American communities. After World War II, cities were buzzing. There was a new energy in the air. People were looking for ways to express themselves. In neighborhoods packed with life, music was everywhere. It was in the churches, powerful gospel choirs. It was in the jazz clubs, swinging rhythms. Doo-wop took a piece of all that. Gospel, blues, pop. It told stories of everyday life, dreams and disappointments, all filtered through the pure magic of the human voice. You could find these groups all over. They gathered under the dim light of a street lamp. They found amazing acoustics under bridges, their voices bouncing off the steel and stone. They sat on the stoops of their apartment buildings, their brownstones. It was a competition, a friendly battle of the bands, but without the bands. Who had the tightest harmony? Who had the smoothest lead singer? Who could make you feel something with just a shooby-doo-wop? The city itself was their stage. The audience was anyone passing by, drawn in by the irresistible sound. It was organic. It was real. The name doo-wop itself is a perfect description. It comes from the sounds the backup singers would make. They were the rhythm section, the horns, the strings, with nonsense syllables like doo-wop, sha-na-na, dip-dip-dip. They created a full sonic landscape. These weren't just random sounds. They were carefully arranged parts. They supported the lead singer. They built the foundation, created the mood. The lead singer would tell a simple story, usually about love, young love, lost love, hopeful love. The lyrics were direct. They were relatable. It was the soundtrack for every teenager's first crush or first heartbreak. As the 1940s rolled into the 1950s, something started to change. What began on the street corners started to find its way indoors. Small, independent record labels began to notice. These record men heard the raw talent. They saw the passion. They realized there was an audience for this new sound. The Orioles. The Ravens were among the first to lay it down on wax. Suddenly, the harmonies that once echoed under a bridge were being captured on a spinning disc. These early records were raw, full of emotion. They weren't slickly produced, but they had a feeling, an authenticity that you just couldn't fake. The music started to spread like wildfire. New York, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Chicago, Detroit. Each city developed its own flavor, its own style. Tight vocal harmonies, a charismatic lead, a story to tell. It was the perfect music for the new transistor radios kids were carrying around. The Platters, The Great Pretender, The Penguins, Earth Angel. These songs became anthems. Sock hops diners, car radios. Doo-wop was no longer a neighborhood secret. It was becoming the sound of a generation. The transition from the street to the studio wasn't always easy. Some of the raw energy was polished away, but the studio also added new possibilities. A simple drum beat could be added to give the song a danceable rhythm. A saxophone solo could add a touch of raw excitement. But even with these additions, the voices were always the star of the show. The intricate vocal arrangements were still the main event. The producers knew not to mess with the magic. The goal was to enhance the vocal group, not to overpower it. The technology was just there to help bring that street corner sound to a bigger audience. This music connected with people on a deep level. The themes were universal. Who hasn't felt the joy of falling in love? Who hasn't felt the pain of seeing that love walk away? The singers were often teenagers themselves, so they were singing about what they knew. Their innocence and sincerity shone through in every note.